Did you know that over 70% of people admit they've been publicly humiliated at least once in their lives? Humiliation doesn't just hurt emotionally, it can actually lower your confidence and self-esteem. Some studies even show it's one of the main reasons people struggle with anxiety in social situations. When we find ourselves in this situation, most of us freeze or, worse, lash out and regret it later. But what if I told you there are ways you can respond that completely change the game, a response that shuts down humiliation, leaves your dignity intact, and even earns you respect? Humiliation is something we've all experienced at some point, and let's face it, it's never a good feeling. Whether it's someone making a sarcastic remark about your work, a so-called friend sharing a private joke at your expense, or strangers trolling you online, these moments can shake us to the core. Yet no one really teaches us how to handle these situations properly. We're either told to shrug it off or stand up for ourselves, but what does that even mean? Shrugging it off often makes you feel small, and standing up for yourself can lead to losing control and escalating the situation. So here's the challenge: how do you shut down humiliation in a calm, collected, and incredibly effective way? That's exactly what we're going to explore today with practical tips and psychological techniques inspired by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. These strategies won't just help you navigate humiliating situations calmly, they'll also help you gain respect from those around you. By the end of this, you'll feel ready to handle anything life throws your way. Understanding the psychology of humiliation is key to learning how to manage it. Why do people humiliate others? It's a question we've all asked ourselves after being on the receiving end of a stinging remark or cutting look. On the surface, it may feel like the attack is all about you, your actions, personality, or perceived flaws. But the truth is that humiliation, more often than not, is less about you and more about the person inflicting it. At its core, humiliation is a power play, a tactic some use to assert dominance in social settings or to feel superior in the moment. Think about it: the grumpy coworker who calls you out in a meeting, the family member who cracks a joke at your expense, or the stranger online who lobs an unprovoked insult your way. Their actions often stem from a desire to position themselves as more competent, clever, or worthy in the eyes of others. This behavior rarely comes from a place of genuine strength, it's often rooted in insecurity. People who humiliate others are frequently grappling with their own fears, doubts, and inadequacies. Their insults serve as a mask, a way to divert attention from their vulnerabilities by shining an uncomfortable spotlight on someone else. When they make you feel small, they momentarily convince themselves they are bigger. Have you ever noticed that those who are genuinely confident and secure in themselves rarely resort to humiliating others? They don't need to. True strength is quiet, steady, and grounded, it uplifts rather than tears down. Now let's bring in some timeless wisdom to ground this understanding. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In the context of humiliation, this is a game changer. You cannot always control what others say or do. People will lash out, project their issues, and attempt to provoke you. But their actions don't have to dictate your emotions or your response. The most important truth you'll learn is that humiliation only has power if you grant it. When someone attempts to belittle you, they are handing you a choice. Do you allow their words to define your worth, or do you see their behavior for what it is, a reflection of their internal struggles, not your value? The Stoics teach us that while we cannot change external events, we can master our internal world. How you interpret the situation, how you process it, and how you respond are entirely within your control. In that control lies your power. So the next time someone tries to humiliate you, take a deep breath and remember this: their behavior says everything about them and nothing about you. Your response, however, says everything about your strength, character, and ability to command respect. One practical approach is the calm gaze technique. Imagine you're at a family dinner, surrounded by familiar faces, when someone makes a sharp remark aimed directly at you. It's a subtle comment, but you know it's meant to hurt. The eyes in the room flicker in your direction, waiting for your response. Now you have a choice. You can engage in verbal sparring, fire back with a witty retort, or, and this is where the power lies, you can remain calm, unfazed, and hold their gaze. This may seem simple, even small, but its impact is powerful. When someone attempts to undermine you, often the first instinct is to respond immediately, to defend yourself, justify your actions, or fight back. But in doing so, you give them power over you. They've succeeded in drawing you into their game. Here's the secret: body language often speaks louder than words. Your posture, expression, and eye contact can communicate volumes without saying a single word. When someone insults or humiliates you, instead of reacting with anger or embarrassment, hold their gaze calmly and steadily. Don't fidget, break eye contact, or shrink away. Stand tall in the presence of their attempt to diminish you. Why does this work? It's about control. By maintaining a calm and unflinching gaze, you send a message that their words do not affect you. You're not rattled or intimidated. Your silence, paired with steady strength in your eyes, communicates something far more powerful than any sharp response ever could. Another highly effective approach is the repeat the joke method. When someone makes a joke at your expense, instead of getting upset or reacting defensively, ask them to repeat it. It might sound counterintuitive. Why draw more attention to the insult? The power here lies in your ability to shift the dynamic. When someone tries to humiliate you with a joke, they're often hoping to get a reaction. They want to see you squirm, laugh awkwardly, or get defensive. By calmly asking them to repeat it, you not only neutralize the joke but highlight the inappropriateness of their words. When a person repeats a joke meant to insult or embarrass, it forces them to confront the absurdity of their own words. Suddenly, the joke loses its bite. It's no longer a clever remark but becomes an awkward, uncomfortable moment that exposes their lack of social awareness. Sometimes, the best response to humiliation isn't to react at all but to redirect the conversation entirely. This strategy, known as redirection with a neutral question, is powerful for shifting the focus from the attack to something neutral or positive. For example, let's say someone makes a cutting remark about your appearance or career at a dinner party. Instead of engaging with their negativity, shift the conversation with a simple question like, "By the way, have you been to that new Italian restaurant downtown?" This approach isn't about avoiding confrontation but choosing not to fuel negativity. It forces the person trying to humiliate you to either awkwardly push the same line of attack or join the new topic. Lastly, there are times when the most powerful thing you can do is simply walk away. Walking away isn't about running from conflict but choosing to protect your peace, dignity, and self-worth. When you leave a toxic environment filled with negativity, you take back your power. You don't allow others' words or behavior to dictate your emotional state. Walking away signals that you value yourself too much to stay in an environment that undermines you. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Through mastering these techniques, including the calm gaze, the repeat the joke method, redirection with a neutral question, and knowing when to walk away, you reclaim your dignity and gain control over social interactions. By staying calm, composed, and respectful, you command respect without engaging in unnecessary conflict, proving that true strength comes from mastering your mind, not overpowering others.